What's up, everybody? Blaze the Hedgehog back again, and I don't know how long this video is going to be, honestly, because it's just a random. I don't know if you'd call it a rant. But so I got a PlayStation 4 so I could play Need for Speed, the new Need for Speed. It's supposed to be kind of like a reboot, but when the game came out, it kind of got a lot of unfair hate. I could see why. I mean, it's EA. There's already been, a crap ton of, garbage and crap that they've published lately that's just not worth anything. And the last Need for Speed game that I even remotely liked was Need for Speed Undercover. After that, Need for Speed, Most Wanted, the newer Most Wanted, came out, and I was just like, I'm not saying it's a bad game. It is a good game. It's just that to me, it felt like someone got Burnout Paradise and put cops in it, and then slapped a Need for Speed sticker on it, and then there you go. I mean, you could crash like you could in Burnout. You take people down like you could in Burnout, and to me, that's just not what Need for Speed is. It's not what it's about. Which I like Burnout. Don't get me wrong. Burnout's freaking awesome. But if I want to play Burnout, I'm gonna play Burnout. If I want to play Need for Speed, I'm gonna play Need for Speed. And the games after that came out were just, to me, they just didn't. Like, I wanted a Need for Speed game that when I, just even looking at it or just anything, I just got the feeling that Carbon and Most Wanted gave me, and Undercover. Because those three games were just amazing. Like, just amazing. And for some reason, there's still people that hate them. But, on with the new Need for Speed came out. I don't really feel that it's worth like $60. But I got mine on sale for $35. I'd pay $40 for it. I'd probably might pay $45. I mean, it's not a bad game. There's a lot of people saying it's a bad game just because it's nighttime, and that's just completely stupid. Like, why would you be like, oh, well, this game sucks because it's nighttime all the time? Who cares? It's always daytime in Need for Speed Most Wanted. Everybody loved that game. It's always nighttime in Need for Speed Carbon. Everybody loved that, what's that word called where you're over exaggerating, whatever. Not everybody liked it, but it wasn't like a game you would hear people talk about, just hate. It sucks. This game sucks. It's not worth $60. It sucks. Majority of the NFS crew actually liked, Most Wanted and Carbon. You got some people that didn't like Carbon just because it was nighttime, and like I said before, that's just completely idiotic. Just to not like a game just because it's nighttime all the time. They don't know, well, why can't we have day cycles and stuff like, where it cycles day and night? Who cares? Like, why do you care? I mean, the game, the new Need for Speed, isn't even though it's nighttime pretty much all the time, it's not near as dark as what Carbon was. Carbon was freaking dark. I mean, you had to pay attention to what you were doing, and heaven forbid if you were playing on like an old TV. Oh man. But anyways, yeah. So that's like one thing that just like threw me off. Like, why are people hating this game just because it's nighttime? Sorry, I had to get something to drink. But I mean, another thing is, I can understand why it's nighttime in the game. Because it's supposed to take place during, like, the wee hours of the night, or, like right before dawn. Nobody's going to be out driving, which is why there isn't a lot of traffic in the game. Sometimes, anyways. It seems like sometimes when you challenge somebody to a race, it's just like, you get on the interstate and suddenly there's just a crap ton of traffic there. But regardless, there's not near as much as, there is in other Need for Speed games. But no, people are like, they don't They don't understand that. I mean, go racing, go racing like in the daylight. You know, when everybody's out, and you know there's cops out everywhere. There are a lot less cops out at nighttime. Well, where I live, that is, you know, that's how it is, anyways. During the daytime, they're like crawling everywhere, which I don't have nothing against cops or anything like that, you know. But I'm just saying. So that's, you know, where that's the setting of the game. That's where it takes place. You know, it takes place during the wee hours of, you know, early morning, night, whatever. And another thing is people hate it because of the acting. Like, okay, I understand the acting is cheesy, okay? But you gotta understand, Need for Speed is not a serious game. I mean, even Need for Speed Most Wanted, where, you know, even though the acting, you know, or the actors were, you know, more serious, it was in a more serious setting, like, you know, street racing is real, we gotta put into it and all that, you know, street racers are taking over the city and blah, 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 blah. You know, what, all that crap? Yeah, okay, try to tell me, go back and watch the cutscenes of that game, okay? And try to tell me that acting is not cheesy. Every Need for Speed game has been like that. It's not a serious game. It's just a game where you're supposed to have fun. This isn't like... I've never played Forza. I don't know if it actually has, like, cutscenes. But when I see Forza, I imagine if it had cutscenes, they'd be, like, super, you know, serious. You know, that game is more realistic. And that's another thing people complain about Need for Speed, and I don't understand where these... Like, if you're gonna hate on a game, at least have a good reason to and know what you're talking about. Because you've got people that are hating on this game. Like, oh, it's not realistic. Oh, you can get a 4-cylinder to get like 1,200 horsepower. That's not realistic. Because it's a video game. And it's Need for Speed. When have you ever seen Need for Speed labeled? Because I haven't, unless Pro Street was, but I really hope not, because it's just... When have you ever seen a Need for Speed game that's supposed to be, you know, arcadey, be listed as a driving simulator? Okay. Do you think the game would sell as well if it was a driving simulator? I honestly doubt it. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people that like, you know, racing sims, or, you know, whatever. But Need for Speed just doesn't, to me, it just wouldn't work. I mean, plus, what other arcade racing game is there besides the popular franchise Need for Speed? I've heard The Crew is good. I watched it, but it doesn't give me the need for, you know, it just didn't look like Need for Speed to me, honestly. And people are complaining that there's no wheel support, you know, like, you get a steering wheel and you plug it up to your PC, your PlayStation 4. Okay, I don't know about you, but I've looked everywhere. I cannot find a steering wheel to plug up to a console to save my life nowadays. Back on the PlayStation 2, yes. Back, you know, on the PlayStation 1, yes. I've never found one for the PC. I've never found one for the new gen consoles. I had an Xbox 360. And I never, ever seen a, you know, a steering wheel and foot pedals that you could hook up to it. Like, see, people don't really understand that, yeah, there's some people, you know, you got these few people over here that want different stuff for this game and all that. They want it, you know, just perfect. They want it the way they want it, not how the majority wants it. So you're going to have to look at this from, like, a company's perspective, okay? And nobody can really justify the hate for the new Need for Speed, because this game is based off the feedback that we have been giving to EA/Ghost of what kind of a type of Need for Speed game we've been wanting. And there's been lots of channels like Black Panther, I guess how you say it. He's got a lot of subscribers, obviously, and he's a Need for Speed fan. He actually got to go, I think it was to Sweden, to the offices and actually play the game. I mean, he's like one of the people that got to play before anyone else got to play. and they asked him for feedback, you know, what they should do to the game and stuff. And he told them what his fans, you know, what all of us as Need for Speed fans want in a Need for Speed game, and that's still what it's becoming. I mean, you can go to the Need for Speed Facebook page now, and they're even taking like suggestions in the comments on their Facebook page. So I mean, you cannot say, well, this Need for Speed game sucks and blah blah blah. I mean, you might, yeah, go ahead and say it, but our words pretty much made the game. So we got what we wanted. We told them what we wanted. This is the game we're getting because we're telling them what we want. Now they're putting what we want into this game. So if it's not good, then I just don't know what to tell you. I guess you just don't like Need for Speed. But yeah, Black Panther got to do all that stuff, but there's just a bunch of random off-the-wall bullcrap hate getting thrown at this game. And it's getting better now. Like, I'm starting to see, like, you know, more activity online. Like, more players are coming online and stuff like that. So, like, kind of tells me the game's, you know, it's steadily going up. But I think a lot of the biased, negativity... I almost said like NECA, like not like the N-word, but all this biased negativity is straying people away from the game. Like, people are afraid to buy it because of, or you got this tiny little group of people over here being like, oh, it don't have real support, all that crap. It's just stupid. It's always nighttime. Yeah. I will say this. The game isn't perfect, obviously. First thing that I noticed when I started playing it is easy. Like, that game is way too easy. Versus the AI. Versus the AI, it's way too easy, okay? You know, you can go through the story, no problem. You'll probably fail, like, 10 times at the most on one of the more difficult, you know, races near the end. But really, the AI in that game, like, for the story races and all that stuff, is just easy, like, just way too easy. Another thing it really depends if it's easy or not. The cops are, like, completely just retarded in that game, okay? Stupid easy cops. Okay, but if you get to heat level 5, it's not like extremely hard, but it's to the point you have to concentrate, and if you F up, you're going to get busted. And by the time you get to heat level 5 and you get busted, you're going to have a big enough fine that it's going to put a dent in your wallet, okay? I've gotten like a $26 fine, $26,000 fine after I just bought a new car and fixed it up. It pretty much wiped out all of my money because I was running from the cops. I had 6 of them on me, and by heat level 5, they were actually keeping up with me when I sped off. And I was like, all right, well, I've done messing around with the cops long enough. I kind of need to get away before, you know, I overstay my welcome. Well, I already overstayed my welcome. I tried to start curving through like a bunch of streets and stuff. I go around the corner, I smack right into a concrete slab, and they're all still behind me, so they just dogpile me. I can't move or anything. I get busted. I lose pretty much all my money. But yeah, I can't really think of anything else. Yeah, I can. There's people saying that customization is limited, and that's kind of true. But at the same time, it depends. Like, really, it depends on what car you have. There's a lot of cars in the game that have a lot of like the bumpers and stuff you can change on it. Lots of hoods and, you know, all that crazy stuff with the body. But there's some cars in the game. Sorry, it's like almost 3:30 here. I'm kind of tired. But there are some cars in the game where, you know, you only get like 3 or 4 spoilers for them. You only get 1 or 2 body kits for them. You might get a hood. Some of them, I think the Lamborghini Aventador doesn't have a hood, but I'm not sure. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. I haven't checked, but you know, But I mean, it's mostly the cars that already look good, like the Lamborghini Aventador. You don't really ever see like wide body kits on them and stuff like that because I mean they already are pretty flashy, I guess you could say. No one just turns their head away from a Lamborghini and like, I was just a normal car. You see a Lamborghini, you're like double taking on that because you're like, oh my god, it's a Lamborghini. Let me get my cell phone, freaking take a picture of it and all that. So yeah, majority of the cars that don't have a lot of the body customization to it already look good. Now there's like older cars in the game that you can buy and you can trick them out and stuff. Those cars actually have a lot more customization options. And you can actually do a lot of customization with those. All of the cars that I know of so far have all the same rims. You can put the same rims, which that's pretty easy. But and the vinyl or wrap system, whatever you want to call it, vinyls for older Need for Speed players. I made a car on there, and it took me like 75 on each side of the car, 75 vinyl stickers to design. And I never it never said you've reached the maximum limit. I assume if there is a limit in the game, it's probably going to be like 100. But so far, I haven't ever gotten that far with it. But I assume I figure it's just like something insane like 200 because I got 75 on both sides. It's a lot. It's a lot of vinyls. So yeah. What can I say is good about the game, though, to justify, all the biased hate that this game gets? And I've even seen big reviewers be like, do not buy this game, it is a ripoff, it is not worth the money, it sucks. Okay, I'm sorry, the game don't suck. And in my honest opinion, that's everybody's opinion. Everybody's going to say, well, this game sucks, and everybody's going to say, well, this game rocks. But the majority of the people playing the game, like, just don't go and get the game and expect something like Forza or something just insane, okay? Expect going to the store back in 2005 or something, or way back whenever Need for Speed, Most Wanted, and Carbon came out. Go to the store. Think that you're back then going to the store and buying one of those games. Because to me, that's kind of what the game feels like. It's not like spot on, like, oh man, this feels exactly like Carbon. I'm not going to say that. It doesn't feel exactly like Carbon, but it feels similar. It's... Yeah, I mean, I don't really know how to, say it, but if you liked Carbon, I would assume it would be safe to go and buy this game. If you want a Need for Speed game that's like Need for Speed Most Wanted or Carbon, go ahead and go buy the game. I'm almost definitely sure you'll like it. Besides the fact that it's just so easy to beat. But other than that, what else was I going to say? Oh yeah, if anyone has played Need for Speed World that watches this video, it's also kind of like that in a way. Free roam is seamless, kind of seamless transition into event races. So you can actually be in free roam and you will have other players with you, but it's not going to be like a crap ton of other players. I think it's only like maybe 12 at the most of the other players that will be in your lobby. So your free roam is pretty much like a lobby for everybody to be in, so you can meet other players and all that, and you can drive to them. And if anybody remembers this from, I think this was in Carbon as well, but Need for Speed Underground 2, you actually find the AI cars driving around in the city, and you could challenge them to race. You drove up to them. Well, you can do that with players and AI cars in this game. You can actually go up to them, like, you challenge them to a race, and then you can select a sprint, a circuit, or a drift event. And it's just spontaneous, so it'll just automatically, it'll show you where to go and all that stuff. And it's just like a normal race, except it's spontaneous. You can just do it whenever, and those don't have a load screen or anything. I mean, you're just both just sitting there, and it's just like go, and then you go on about your merry way. I'm running out of tea. Dang it. But anyways, I actually like the car customization in the game. I like that some of the cars that already look good, you know, with the stock bodies and stuff. I don't really mind that they don't have any customizations. Some of the older cars or the cars don't really have a good looking stock body. Those are the ones that really have more customization, and I feel that that's fair, you know, because there's a lot of newer cars in real life that are in the game that, you know, they look fine the way they are, and I don't feel like it would make them. I don't think it'd look good if you got like a 2015 Mustang and you put like this insanely. I mean, there is a body kit for it, but if there was like other body kits, you know, just like an insane amount, I don't think it would do it, you know, justice to have all those kits to put on it. And I don't know, I think it would just be too much because it already looks good just in a stock body, and that's how I've got mine. I don't have the RTR. I think it's the RTR wide body on it. I don't have that on it. I've just got it as a you know, just a normal body, and I changed the front bumper to the RTR bumper so I could have the triangular lights in the grill. But all the other body kits that I've looked on the newer cars, some of the newer cars, you know, you can actually put body kits on them and like different front bumpers, and they have a lot of them to choose from. But even though they had a lot, you know, to choose from, it didn't look as good as, you know, the stock body for the car. So I just kept the stock body on there. My Ford Focus is one of those cars. I was like, oh, I wonder what the wide body kit looks like on this. Maybe it'll look, you know, more cool since it's like a rally sport car. And it just didn't. It really just, it looked kind of ugly, to be completely honest. And I already like the way the Focus looks. I mean, the Focus looks like a very aggressive car, even though it's a 4-cylinder. So, I mean, you don't really have to worry about that. There's not an insane amount of customization like there was in Carbon. You can still make the car pretty much how you want it. You don't really have to worry about that. Now, the performance upgrades is awesome. I love the performance upgrades. Used to, you know, it was just engine upgrade, you know, and it was like Pro or Street Pro, and then whatever was, you know, after that. It was just like engine, transmission, like a bunch of basic stuff. It didn't really go into too much detail. But in this game, it's like air filter, cooling system, manifolds, the full exhaust system, all that stuff, the electric system, or the ignition electric system, whatever. I just call it the electric system. You can even get a tune as a upgrade. That doesn't mean, I'm not saying you can like go in like a Need for Speed Underground, you can like tune it to where you get like different horsepower and torque and all that stuff. Like almost like a flash tune. Like, you know, you go and buy one of the flash tuners that you plug into a real car, and you set the tune that way. It kind of like mimics that, I guess. I mean, you know, you just pay for the new tune, and then boom, your car's faster. But there's like so much just customization in the performance, and like even adding a spoiler actually does something now. It adds more downforce, which is what it would do in real life. You can tune the downforce. Another thing is you can like tune your tires. Like the actual tuning gets into like tuning your tires, tuning your suspension, stuff like that. So if you want like a fully adjustable suspension, you'll upgrade all the way, or as far as you can, your suspension. You know, it's got like a screen, and all across there is the performance parts that you can get. And after you get past like all the stuff that gives you horsepower and torque, and, you know, faster 0-60 and all that, you start getting into like the handling performance parts. So you can get drift tires or grip tires. You know, that's pretty basic. And then you can get a wider range of tuning for your tires after you do that, which I think is pretty cool. It gives more of a reason to actually buy, you know, like tires, like different sets of tires and stuff. Buying sway bars for your car, you can adjust the amount like of body roll and stuff you want to allow your car to have. Suspension, you know, you can tune it between stiff and soft. Brakes, when you upgrade your brakes, you can actually, I don't know if it's your brakes or the e-brake, but when I was looking on there, I think you can tune them where they're softer. They don't, you know, slow you down as fast, or you can make it where they slow you down faster. Well, you know, you can slide if you do that. You know, if it's just like instant, you know what I'm saying. It's like in real life car, if you slam on your brakes, you're gonna slide, but if you just press on the brakes gently, you'll slowly come to a stop. The e-brake, you can actually upgrade that, and I think that helps with like drifting. You can upgrade it and tune it to be, you know, more stiff or soft, or not stiff or soft, but soft or more, you know, hard when you pull up on the e-brake. You know, it'll be more instant than slow. What else was there? I can't remember exactly what else handling there was. Oh yeah, like your differential. You can change it, like turn it to be more to the locked side, which means the tires, the wheels will spin at the same time. That'll allow you to drift more, or you can change it to where it's open. That way, if you're going for more of like a grip, you know, non-drift style race, then you can have it that way. And it doesn't really sound like a lot or look like a lot. Like if you bought the game and, you know, you look at it, it doesn't really look like that stuff would do a whole lot. But I actually upgraded one of my cars in the game that I just didn't bother buying that stuff for. And I tuned it more to the way I want it. Now it actually drives better than what it did. And I love it a lot more now. It's got way better handling now than what it did. So it actually does make a difference. And it gives more of a reason to actually buy new tires. And, you know, the sway bars actually make a difference and all that stuff. And even though the game, like I've said before, is easy, you know, like really easy when you're doing like the story races and stuff, there's still a lot of stuff to do. There's a lot of races, drifts, all that, you know, all that shenanigans. There's actually a whole lot of that to do. So you'll definitely be busy for a while, especially since your phone goes off constantly. People that already have the game knows what I'm talking about. And even after you do that, the more friends you actually have playing this game, this is where the game actually starts. I think right now it's a little bit early to tell, but from what I'm seeing, I think multiplayer is going to be like the diamond, you know, of this game. Kind of like Renegade. Renegade is Renegade. Command and Conquer Renegade is what I'm talking about. The story was kind of, at the time, it was, you know, really awesome and stuff, but now you go back and play and it's kind of like, But there was people, they might still be playing it now, to this day, playing online, because the multiplayer was just that good. The multiplayer was awesome in that game, especially all the teamwork you had back in the days. I don't really know if teamwork exists anymore. It doesn't really seem like it does when you play FPS games. But that game, it's the best part about that game was its multiplayer, and a lot of people agree with that. But I think that's where the new Need for Speed is going to shine, because you've got instant races, first off, so, you know, you can build like a really awesome car, and you can go out and challenge people, and y'all can just start getting competitive with each other and whatnot. And that, you know, makes people like, oh, well, he beat me, he's got a faster car, he's got better parts, something, so I'm gonna go see what I can do to my car to make it faster, or if I have to buy another car. So that keeps both, you know, all the players engaged with each other if it stays, you know, competitive, or people, you know, they start wanting to race each other more. Another thing is you've got your speed wall. for all the events. And pretty much what that is, all your friends that have the game, let's say I race a race, whatever, I do this event, and let's say it's a sprint race and I complete it in 1 minute and 50 seconds, okay? Well, that time's going to go up on the speed wall for one of my friends. So my other friend's going to log in one day or the same day, whenever, after I'd completed that event, and he's going to see the time that I beat it in, or he will see how much reputation I got for doing that race. And reputation, you get it like 6 different ways. It's really hard to do the reputation speed wall challenges, because sometimes people get some crazy, just crazy rep doing a race, and it gets put on the speed wall. But let's say he's got it's gonna have a little tag on the event that says AR, and it's a recommendation to beat somebody's time or their rep score for that event. So it may show him my time, it may show him the rep I earned for that race, but let's just say it's showing him my time. Okay, I think I set up 1 minute and 50 seconds is supposedly when I beat it. Okay, so if he can go back to that event, and he can beat the recommendation, which say it's recommending to beat me, he would have to complete the race under 1 minute and 50 seconds, and then his position on the speed wall would go up above mine. And he may be in, number 1 on the speed wall now, or he may be below whoever was above me. But, you could be at the very bottom. And at the recommendation, wants you to beat me, whatever, and you do, you're going to jump up that instant. And it's the same way, even if you don't have the recommendation, whatever, and you've got all your friends above you right here, well, let's just say you beat 3 of their times. Boom, you get above all 3 of them, and they can come back and beat your time, and it's just, it's like rinse and repeat. All the players start getting better and better and better at the race, and it gets more competitive. It keeps them all engaged, and gives them a reason to continue racing. Even if you beat that event, you can start challenging other players, and I'm not saying it's all about winning, but but you can just keep going back and beating them, and they'll come back and beat you, and somebody else will come along, and it's just a bunch of racing, okay? That's what Need for Speed is. Need for Speed isn't supposed to be like a serious racing game. It's supposed to be just about having fun. And I think I'm not going to put any spoilers. The story isn't like super awesome or nothing. But I really think that, this being one of the way less serious Need for Speed games, it really shows that this game is about having fun. Need for Speed Carbon was, the story was pretty serious. Need for Speed Most Wanted, the story was pretty serious. This story ain't really serious in any way. Yes, all the acting is cheesy, in my opinion, in all the Need for Speed games. I always think it will be, but to me, I don't. That's the way it should be. It's not a serious game, so why would you put serious acting? I think cheesiness is kind of funny at times. Some people don't like it, but like I said, you've got a really small group of people that absolutely hate it, hate the game, thinks the acting just ruins the game, even though it doesn't make the game. The acting doesn't make the game. Man. But when you actually play this game and you play through this story of it, you'll start to figure out that this really isn't a serious game at all, and it is a lot more leaning towards about having fun and just enjoying the game, just enjoying the racing, not stress-free pretty much. I don't want to come and play a game that's going to stress me out and all that crap. Nobody has time for that. But yeah, I would say to all the negativity that this game is receiving, it's not as much now, I don't think. I'm seeing a little bit less. Like, people are starting to get more accepting of the game. Despite another thing I forgot to mention, it is always online. which is it sucks. It really kind of does suck, but at the same time, it doesn't really affect the game too much. I mean, if you have internet, yeah, you know, whatever, it doesn't matter. But that's another thing. People, you know, hate it because of that. It's not a game breaker, I don't think. Yeah, it sucks, but at the same time, almost everybody has internet now. And when I say that, the company, you know, they know that the game is always online. They know that the very few people that don't have the internet to play the game, it's not gonna affect their sales that much. I mean, you know, it's just not worth to them. It's just not worth, you know, going and back on the game and being like, okay, I got the hiccups now. Okay, well, let's, you know, fix all this crap and make it to where it's not always online. You know, it wouldn't justify it to them because to them it's not gonna bring in enough profit to justify it. It's basically what I'm saying. What was I saying before? But oh yeah, to a lot of negativity on this game, I wouldn't really keep it from buying you the game. On my honest opinion, I would wait until a sale maybe. I wouldn't make it. I wouldn't wait until it dropped all the way down to $20. If you really want the game, if you liked Need for Speed Carbon or Need for Speed World or Need for Speed Most Wanted, not the new one, the old one, you know, that was like Carbon except in daytime. I would say go ahead and buy the game. If you're like a diehard Need for Speed fan and you just freaking love even like every Need for Speed that ever freaking came out, doesn't matter how bad it sucks and everything, go ahead and buy the game. You probably already got it. But I wouldn't let any of the negativity really sway you away from buying it because, I mean, it's really minor things that, you know, the game has put people off for some reason. Like the cheesy acting doesn't justify the hate. It always being nighttime doesn't justify not buying the game. Doesn't even make sense. Like, oh my god, it's like buying Battlefield and being like, oh my god, it's always constant war. It's always war. People are always shooting each other. Why do always people gotta shoot each other all the time? Because that's what the game. It's the setting of the game, man. It's the setting of the game. Whatever. I would, however, wait for a sale. If you can get a used copy, I'd get a used copy. I don't really think it's worth $60. I would say 50 at the most, but by the time this video goes up, I'm not sure how much it is now. But like I said, I got my copy for $35. It shouldn't. I'm sure it'll drop down to 50 or 40 soon. But I think that's when more people start to buy the game. But yeah, I definitely would wait until then. But it actually is, in my opinion, a good Need for Speed game. And it may not be perfect. Don't get me wrong, it may not be perfect. There's some weird things, you know, about it that do set people off from buying it. But I can definitely tell you, if you buy the game and you put it in and you play it, you will definitely be able to tell it is a step in the right direction for the Need for Speed franchise. This turned into a little bit lengthy video. I didn't really mean to make it let it turn out this long. But I will see you guys in the next video that I upload, and thanks for watching.